Oh, that would have been nice to know.
This is it, man. We are, wait, I'm waiting for the screen to not be black. And then we will, now we are live. Go for it. Let's rock and roll.
All right, perfect. We gotta change the title on it just to make sure.
Last thing we did was this, I believe.
It
Right?
says into the movie verse.
Okay.
Shang-Chi, my bad.
I thought I changed it. One sec.
While you do that,
Yeah, go for it.
welcome to Into the Movie Verse podcast. I believe this is like what, episode 7, correct? Is that right? Episode 7?
I don't know.
I think it's episode 7. If it's not, welcome back. I am joined again by Cody, and we'll be discussing the Revenant today, and also going over some exciting up and coming trailers that are gonna be dropping this month. I believe the full movies will be dropping this month, and probably next month as well. But some exciting stuff. So the Revenant, let's hop right into it. Obviously, the Revenant is a movie that has won Leonardo DiCaprio his Oscar.
Yes.
So I believe that this movie has its place in Leonardo DiCaprio's acting history because he's got his most prized possession off of it. This movie is one that you have not seen before. We've watched it, Cody, so I'm surprised that you have not seen the masterful artwork that is Leonardo DiCaprio's acting.
Yeah, I have heard about this movie. I saw trailers when it was coming out. There's obviously some big moments that became very popular all on YouTube, on social media, so I was really happy to finally see this, and it was definitely worth it.
So, why don't you tell us the story overview and give a brief rundown?
Yeah, so look, first of all, as always, spoilers. We're going to do full discussions. If you're going to be watching this, you should have seen the movie unless you don't care about knowing what's going to happen, because we will pretty much discuss everything, starting with this story overview. So basically, we start with what I believe is a band of fur traders going out into the wilderness, and I'm not sure which state it is. Do you remember the state?
No.
Let me see.
It's somewhere cold, though.
Yes. I mean,
know that.
Okay, it's South Dakota, in the
That's why nobody knows what it is.
Was it the 1820s, I believe? Around
Yeah,
there?
it's pretty early on
In American history.
Yeah.
But we follow a group of fur traders as they're going out hunting, and the whole movie starts off with Leonardo DiCaprio's character, Hugh Glass, who is his specific character. He, I believe, separated himself from society, lived with the natives for a long time, had a wife and a child, and now he is just with his son, and they are part of this group of fur traders, and they use Glass as a guide through the wilderness because of his skills that he had learned through living with the natives, and he speaks, I forget which native language it is, but
it's like Pawnee or something like that, right?
I think it's Pawnee, and so basically we start the movie with them doing their normal thing, hunting, getting the pelts, when a big fight breaks out, when another band of natives decides to attack this group of fur traders while they're on their expedition. And that's how this film starts. Right off the bat, really intense action, really sets the scene, which is really cool. I really like that beginning fight scene, and I think we're gonna break that down later and show it when we get to our favorite moments.
Yeah, so we'll break that down, probably like visual effect, big moment area. So the cast for this movie was pretty stacked. Let's see.
I can put the cast on stream if you guys are.
Yeah, put it on there.
Let's put that up. Let's see. So we got, Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hardy, obviously amazing actor from Batman, Inception. He's got a lot of big budget films on his plate that he's done.
Got the kid from Toy Story.
It's
Kid.
Will Poulter, really good actor. He actually just he got cast in a Marvel movie. If you didn't see that yet, he just
I
got.
didn't see that. No.
I don't know which movie, but he got announced to play a pretty big role.
Really?
Yeah, Domhnall Gleeson. I think we all know him from Star Wars at this point.
Yeah.
What's his famous speech in that movie where he's screaming? You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember what he says.
Yeah, he was good in that. Forrest Goodluck, I do not know him, but he played Hugh Glass's son, Hawk. I think I recognize Paul Anderson. I think that's pretty much the well-known cast in this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some really good actors, and they really did an amazing job with the acting. We'll get into that later, but definitely that Oscar was well deserved. Maybe not as much as the other actors, but the other actors did do a really good job besides Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah, all-star cast. Do you want to let's? I think we should just jump right into the set design, because I think that plays a crucial part in this movie. It's probably I think right away when we were watching it, because it starts with a big fight, but first they show you the landscape, and it's like, wow.
The landscape is what truly, I think, grounds the whole movie. I mean, if people were to complain about the pacing or the dialogue or whatever, that's fine. But the amount of time spent doing the set, and I think they pretty much filmed, during the winter time. So a lot of those actors were out there in the cold and in the snow.
Yeah.
I believe they filmed in the Midwest and then in parts of Canada as well. So, they were in some really cold areas, which I think is why Leonardo got the Oscars, because he put himself in those extreme conditions and he still performed. And the set is truly, something that's breathtaking, and we'll show you some clips of the set, like you'll see later on. I don't know, I wouldn't be able to tell what was inside or what was not, or if they did anything that was a fake background. Everything looks really legit.
Yeah, I can tell you that there were, because I did watch some behind the scenes clips, there were shots that were background in, but the majority of them were in. They were shot near Alberta's Calgary city in Canada, in Kananaskis County, which is a park system in the Canadian Rockies. But it's just all pure wilderness. You really can't tell that it's not like Southwest America or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the biggest thing is you're never taken away from the movie by the background or anything. You feel like you really are just you feel like the characters. You feel completely trapped in this wilderness, and there could be nothing around for 100 miles, and they're just like, what the hell are we gonna do? So, but yeah, it's all really beautiful landscape shots too. There's a lot of them.
Oh yeah, it's all just for somebody that loves set design and things like that.
Yeah.
The costumes, I mean, I wouldn't say they probably splurged on the costume design.
I don't know if it would take that much, budget wise, to get, because it's not like they're a sci-fi movie making specific costumes. It was get some history accurate or some time period accurate, ragged clothes, But
yeah,
none of it was bad. It all looked pretty good. I mean, that's something we can talk about, is the fact that they do a really good job at portraying how wounded, how tired the characters are, and their clothes always seem to be appropriate. It's not like an action movie where an explosion goes off and then cough cough, Black Widow's just suit is still perfectly white, not a scratch.
Yeah,
it's their clothes look just as beat up as them. So yeah, all that, there's nothing that really takes you away from this movie. There's no crazy CGI, there's no awkward shots, everything's just really well done. You feel it feels longer than it actually is. The runtime is, I don't think it's not, I I don't think it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's only like maybe 2 hours and change.
Where is it? It's what the hell?
2 hours and 36 minutes. It feels a lot longer.
Oh yeah, there it is.
But,
2 hours 30.
Yeah, I don't think
I mean, 2.5 hours is long though. But yeah, it does feel like it's a longer movie.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, for today, there's movies coming out that are like 3.5. But no, yeah, I think it's definitely because of the slow pacing. But I think we've discussed, especially if you guys have seen our first episode on the Highwaymen, you know that we don't mind slow pacing as long as there's payoff, and the story is rich enough to bring meaning to the slow pacing. There's something to see, and there's always something to see in this movie. I never really wanted to look away, to be honest.
Yeah. I guess the pacing for me, I mean, I've watched, this is the second time I watched a movie, so, but I didn't really remember much of what happened. That's sort of the thing. Like, it's a movie that I would recommend to people, but like, if I were to go back and watch it a couple months down the road or something, I'll be like, oh, like, the only memorable scene to me is really that bear scene. And I think that sticks in everybody else's mind as well, is that one bear scene. But I think the movie is definitely worth watching for somebody that has not seen it, just because if you're a fan of Leonardo DiCaprio's work and you want to see the movie that got him the Oscar, then this is that movie. I feel like at this point, though, people aren't going to go out of their way to watch The Revenant because of the story. Like it has that label of Leonardo DiCaprio's Oscar-winning movie.
Yeah, but I feel like that's not a bad thing. I feel like there's a lot of movies that are like mediocre. There's no standout moment, and then you don't remember like a specific thing. But I think that's good for this movie. That like this movie will always be known, or at least for a while, be known as like, oh, the movie with the crazy bear attack. But that's good for marketing and for getting people to go back and watch it, because they're like, oh, you haven't seen that movie with the crazy bear attack or the Oscar? You haven't seen the Oscar movie?
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, no, really enjoyable. For example, what was the Hugh Jackman movie we watched recently?
Reminiscence.
Yeah. There's no standout moment that you're going to remember for a couple of years, It's just like...
Yeah, that movie... to be honest, if you didn't say what's that Hugh Jackman movie,
it's just because it was the most recent one.
Like, if you just said what movie did we watch last, I probably wouldn't have remembered.
You'd be like, if that movie didn't exist, you'd be like, oh, Wolverine. But like, my whole point in bringing that up was...
exists in my mind.
My whole point in bringing that up was this movie has a key memorable moment that is like, I think, it's obviously award winning, and that's what makes it, I think, relevant.
The only thing, I guess, for Reminiscence was like that technology they used. That's really the only thing that sticks in my mind for that. But
for me, it's the
burning memories for me.
For that, I enjoyed his like monologue over everything. But yeah, so costumes were fine. I guess there really wasn't much to discuss in this movie about that.
Let's get into the meaty stuff.
Yeah,
let's get into the visual effects here.
Agree, because we can show some clips here if you guys are watching this on YouTube. If you were on the Spotify version, then you probably remember from memory about this, but you can always find us on YouTube. Let's see. So how about we do let's do a little discussion about the first attack scene almost right at the beginning of the movie, because I remember we discussed this earlier and we can point it out now. We were wondering if a lot of the arrows, if they were CGI or not. By the way, since we last discussed it, I have been watching some like VFX breakdown videos. You've probably seen Corridor Crew.
Yep.
CGI is so terrifyingly good that you can't tell if the entire environment and everything is fake anymore. So there's no way to know. Like, I mean, obviously there's some little things, but sometimes it's so real looking that you can't tell. So, I mean, CGI is getting so real to the point where you look at real stuff and have to wonder if it's fake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, here, I'm going to show you guys. Let's get it. Oh, that's my camera. Let's turn off the internet. Here we go. That's good. I think I can put it on. Perfect. So, I guess we can just play this out. What is it, like a couple minutes? I'll probably skip through it a little bit.
Yep.
Start here.
Scene and the behind the scenes, or no?
No, this... Well, actually, I think the boat might have been placed. Oh. Let's skip a little bit here. The arrow shot looks really good, even though it's a side shot. I was gonna say, if you watch...
You think the smoke is from blanks? You think they're doing blanks in that?
Yeah, because my whole point about the smoke is if you... like.
That's a good transition, though. When he shoots the arrow into the head.
The biggest thing about fake smoke that you have to watch is if it stays... like, the gun's already fired. The smoke's going to stay in the air where it is. If he moves his barrel and the smoke follows a little bit, you know it's fake. So you can see how it doesn't... You can see how he brings the gun away and the smoke stays where it is. So that looks real. And then they move the camera and the smoke stays where it is, which I think would be a hard... not, like, crazy difficult, but that'd be some work to get the smoke just shot. I'm going to go through these pretty fast because we don't want to just sit here looking at them, even though they're really nice. Everyone's seen them, so we're a little quiet for the Spotify version. But bear scene, I think we should just look at the bear in general.
The bear.
Bear going Mach 1. Yeah.
Did they show you?
Yeah. Oh, did you hear that? When he gets his neck. Oh. Yeah, I think there was behind the scenes on this. I can pull it up actually.
Pull it up, because I'm curious. I mean, is he with like a guy in a green screen suit, like you know?
Yeah, there's a guy just going rawr.
Rawr, I'm a bear.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Oh God, that's not our ad. No ads here. No ads. Don't look. We don't need ads.
Right. Motorola's not that great anyway. Don't sponsor
us. Okay, this is... Alright, now.
Upcoming, we'll review Dune at some point.
Let's say we
probably the next one.
Yeah, Dune.
What is it? Sure. What?
No, I was... wrong video. Or...
I've done it already.
Let's see. It's gotta be a behind the scenes shot here. Yeah, here you go.
Bear attacks his arm, so he had an appliance
Wow, look at those.
to his arm and also his hand, and his leg gets dislocated.
So that was all fake.
Yeah.
Again, put on his.
It took us 4.5
I was gonna say, I hope it's fake.
Oh no! No, the foot.
that time.
Where hair and makeup has been done, all of that has been around. The reality is pouring off the screen because all that matters is what they get on camera.
The makeup is so important because you
Yeah.
have to show all the stages of recovery. You could see the journey in his face.
I was gonna say, that's a big point of this movie that I like, is usually a character gets hurt and they just...
Is that Jon Favreau?
What?
Was that Jon Favreau?
Where?
Go back to
No,
where they're outside
not,
the trailers.
That's not him.
Go back to where they're outside the trailers.
That's not Jon Favreau.
Okay, it's not Jon Favreau. Look at it from where I was sitting. It looked like Jon Favreau.
But I was gonna say that a really cool part of this movie is a lot of heroes usually they get hurt and they get back up, and it's just like, whatever, I healed in a day, I slept, you know. But like, I like how this movie is actually his journey of recovery, and it takes a long time, like it should. That's a big part.
Yeah, I mean, well, this movie is inspired by true events, so they pulled a certain amount of key elements out of the original story.
Yeah, I mean, we read the original story. There's not that much to go off. but
Yeah.
you know, it's loosely. They should have put loosely based on true stories.
Well, I don't even think they should have mentioned it, to be honest, because I don't know. Inspired by, what's a looser term that is still?
Well, I guess inspired by it has nothing to do with. Yeah.
But
No, I
I
mean
don't
it's still close enough. Like it's not like they're like inspired by John Wick and the guy's just shooting a gun, you know, like or like inspired by World War II and it's just like a guy shooting a gun, you know. But
yeah.
there's some relevance, but yeah, I don't think we need to show the final fight scene. You know, I think everyone's seen it.
No. So what was your favorite moment in the movie?
Favorite moment.
Favorite moment, or yeah, just favorite moment.
That opening fight scene is so good, but I might have to say the opening fight scene, honestly.
Opening scene.
That it's just so, you know.
It's a good scene.
Yeah, I mean, not to say it only goes downhill, but it's all really good. But the opener is just so good. It's probably one of my favorite opening scenes in a movie I've seen recently. I mean, it's not like mind blowing or anything, but it's just really well done. So, what's yours?
Well, I mean, I guess I have to be sort of generic, and I have to say the bear scene. I mean, that's primarily what I spoke to you about when I told you about the movie.
I mean,
so
I could agree with you because you know I didn't know the character's fate, so I was actually like a little nervous. My blood was pumping. I was like, "What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?" That is a really good scene. Obviously, my favorite scene didn't win an Oscar or anything, but so.
All right, so let's hop into the scores here. Let me get Rotten Tomatoes over there. Rotten Tomatoes. I can't. Oh my god. All right, let's see. So we got IMDb with a perfect 8. Doesn't get any better than that. And then a 78% certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes and an 84% on the audience score.
Well, let's start with IMDb because I think we like doing the charts on IMDb and then the user reviews on Rotten Tomatoes seems to be our formula. So yeah, an 8 out of 10. Let's check the ratings.
It's interesting that for this movie, the arithmetic mean and the median are the same because normally they're different. Won 3 Oscars. Pretty good.
What were the other two for?
I don't know. Look.
That'd be good. That'd be cool to know. While you do that, let's
92 wins and 188 nominations. So best performance by an actor, Leonardo DiCaprio. Best achievement in directing for the director. And best achievement in cinematography.
Oh, for sure. Well earned on
it
that.
almost won Best Motion Picture, was nominated for that. Tom Hardy was actually a nominee for Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role.
Yeah. No, like, maybe
he won some BAFTAs.
Maybe it's just
Screen
me.
Actors Guild won some stuff.
Maybe it's just me, but his acting wasn't... I think it's just because I've seen him in so many things that whenever he talks, I'm like, that's Tom Hardy doing a fake accent. Like, because he's like, oh... It's like, we gotta leave him behind. I'm like, that's Tom Hardy. What is he doing? Like, I don't... it's hard for me to picture him as the character.
I didn't even know it was Tom Hardy when we were watching it. Anyway.
Really? It was he was really good. So if I throw that bias aside, yeah, no, it was definitely amazing acting.
Yeah.
So we got 14% for a 10 out of 10. We got 22% for a 9 out of 10, 32 for an 8, and 18 for a 7. That's like the biggest values we got here. Surprisingly, I guess 6% at 6. That's not a lot, so we don't really have to talk about that. But
I want to know what those 0.8%, those 5,000 people.
Yeah.
Know what they thought.
Can I click on that?
No. No, unfortunately, no.
No.
But I mean, an 8 out of 10. That's a really solid movie. That's really solid. Like, I
think a 7 and up is like, I'd say anything 7 and higher, you're confident you didn't waste your time. In 6, you're like, and then 5, you're like, I could have not watched this. And then 1 is like,
like I would say 1 to 3, or you know what, 1 to 4.
yeah,
The movie was like you could have watched something else. 1 to
Yeah.
4, you wasted your time. 5 to 6, it is an average movie. 7
pretty good.
to 8, 7 to 8 is a solid movie. Like definitely
Yeah.
go watch it.
Yeah.
And then 9 to 10, you're in like perfect range.
Okay, remember that, because we'll write that down and keep that as the Into the Movieverse chart. 0 to 4.
yeah. Well, you know
Yeah.
what we should make like you know how we have this little space on the
Oh,
under your
yeah,
camera.
that's for chat. But no, yeah, I like that. What if?
Well, nobody's chatting right now.
Yeah.
But
No, I like that idea. You know what? I'll use Photoshop. We can make an official Into the Movieverse rating chart, and then we can put little icons of the previous movies of the year and stack them all. Yeah, and then eventually you'll have a whole chart of all the movies we've seen in the year, review it for movies of the year, and give awards, and then we can start with a clean slate and do like movies of the year chart. 2022.
the ITM awards.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Bucket listing that. It's gonna happen this week. So I think a 7 may be a little low for me on this movie. I think an 8 is perfect. A 9, pretty good too. The 22% and a 9, that's really high for 9s. Even 14% for a 10, that's really high. And those are out of like a couple hundred people on those votes. So, this movie did really well. Let's see the scores on Rotten Tomatoes before we talk about our scores. Let's see.
Let me put something in the chat here
Sure.
so people can see it in action. I wonder how delayed it is too. Audience score on this is actually pretty good.
Oh, you know what? But that chat won't work right now. So you're gonna have to. I mean, it'll
Okay,
work
it's
on
all right.
YouTube, but it won't work on here. So
It's okay.
it won't show on stream. So yeah, you know what? This space is empty. We could put something there because we're on YouTube. You can always see the chat. There's no reason to have a chat thing. So I will put a rating thing there. We'll get working on that. But yeah, so Rotten Tomatoes, we got a 78% certified fresh, and then we have an 84% audience score. How do you feel about that?
I agree more with the audience score than I do with the actual tomato meter.
I would agree.
Yeah. What are? Let me go to the ratings. I want to see what the reviews.
I mean, for a movie that got 3 Oscars, 78 seems.
it has 100,000 plus ratings. That, like, some of the movies that we've reviewed in the past, they have not, like, they probably had 20,000 or 10,000. This has 100,000 ratings, and for it to have an 84% audience score, that has to say something. You know, some people obviously have their opinions about it. And I don't know why people would be so harsh. Like, you know, some people are like, oh, you know, boring story, but I'll give it a few stars for being, like, really beautiful. A lot of these reviews actually are coming out of this year, over the summer too, like early winter for this year.
People need something to watch during the pandemic.
So
yeah.
It's cool to see that this movie is also. Would you consider this movie a Western?
I don't know.
I don't think I would consider it a Western.
What would you consider it then? That's the
Because
thing.
it doesn't have like it's not like cowboys.
Yeah, but you don't need cowboys to have a western.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't. The Highwaymen is, I guess they were cowboys. They're like, we used to be cowboys. Okay, it counts. No, hey, there were horses. There were people on horses. Those are cowboys.
Yeah, anybody on a horse is by definition.
Let's see. I doubt if you look up what a western is, it's cowboy movies. It's probably like. I bet you it has something to do with a greater scheme. Western is a genre of fiction set primarily in the latter half of the 19th and early 20th century in the western United States. So, all it has to do is take place in that time period in that part of the country. So,
fine.
But of course, during that time period, there were cowboys and Indians, you know. So, westerns are great, man. Let's see. We're seeing Judy Berman, top critic. Ultimately, The Revenant suggests no deeper or more nuanced truths than a medieval morality play. What? What? Why you gotta talk like that?
I'm scrolling through a bunch of these. I mean, a lot of them are 5-star, 4 stars. The occasional 2-star, 1-star, where somebody's just like upset about the story and whatever. But well, this guy actually has a pretty strong opinion, Nichols. I don't know why people like this film so much. It is by far too repetitive, and almost nothing happens in the film. First, we see Leo attacked by a bear and is abandoned at his luck. Then Leo walks around the forest, and something bad occurs to him. Almost dies, and he must survive. He survives. He walks more around the forest. Something happens to him and almost dies, so he must survive. He survives. He walks around the forest. Something happens. He almost dies, and he survives. And he must survive. He survives and walks around the forest.
Oh my god.
That happens over and over and over again. The good thing about this film is that Leo's acting and the film's cinematography are truly exceptional. 4 out of 10 at most, but he gives it 2 stars.
So here's the thing. If you want to be like that, if this guy really wants to be that guy, he can be like Avengers, 5 best friends, hit some people, and then they move through time, and then they hit some people, and then they go back to the past, and then they hit some people. Like, you can do that, but why?
I mean, I guess if you want to oversimplify a movie, sure, you could say that.
He wins the award.
Like, the reason that he is coming into all these near-death situations is because the man is literally near death. Like, he's running off of pure adrenaline in a lot of the movie.
Adrenaline.
Like, his pure will to survive is what is keeping him from dying.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's gonna be walking around and almost dying. The man could trip over a piece of like a stick, and he'll.
And Leonardo DiCaprio's like,
yeah, like the guy will die if he doesn't keep going. So it's just one of those things.
It's a movie about, I guess, like literal physical struggle, but he does a really good job at portraying the pain and the suffering of the position he's in.
And I think what happens a lot is people tend to stick or like look at a certain look at movies a certain way. Like when you watch The Revenant, you have to watch it knowing that you're gonna see somebody like fighting for their life. It's gonna be slow. It's gonna be you're sort of there. It's supposed to be like an on edge of your seat type of thing. Like you're going along with Leonardo DiCaprio on his ride to survival, basically. Like it's one of those things. It's almost, I think, supposed to be like you're in that moment watching it. It's not like it's not like a Marvel movie where you feel like you're just there like watching a movie. Like I don't know, what people try to do sometimes is like immerse you. I think this movie really immerses you into it, and you feel for Leo. In a
Yeah, and
sense, you know what I mean?
it's not overcomplicated either, but they use the simplicity to their advantage and make everything else really really good. You know,
Yeah.
the slow pacing and the simplicity of the story and everything in the journey wouldn't work if this was like a movie that took place in 2021. You know,
Yeah.
it's like this is fitting for this time period, like the suffering, because like you know how brutal it was. I think it's nice because there's a lot of movies where you know the main character, the protagonist, will get shot or get hit, and they'll be like, "I'm fine. I'm gonna walk it off," and then you know, this is the exact opposite, where it's like they're not gonna get punched by some giant monster and get back up and run. You know, they're gonna be down for the count. So it's you know, that's what makes it so interesting to watch as well. Is you're like, you know, if your favorite character is Hugh Glass in this, then you're like, you're cheering him on. You're really hoping he recovers. You're like, wake up! Like you know, every time he's on the ground, like you're like, please get up, get up, get up. We want you to get up. You know, and he's just like, you know,
Yeah.
and then he drinks water. And he's like, oh God.
Drinks water. It's coming out of his holes.
Yeah. So.
But what would you rate? What would you rate this movie?
Oh man, what would I rate this movie?
Yeah, the big old question.
You know, I don't even remember when we discussed it last time what I said. But I think it's good that some time has passed because I want to give this. You know, it's not like there's something obvious holding me back from giving it a higher score. It's just like, I don't know, it's just how I feel. You know, usually there's like something like blatantly obvious, like this is why I can't get a higher score, but it just feels fitting to give this a either an 8.5 or a 9. I think I'm going to go with an 8.5.
8.5?
Yeah.
You know, I'll have to agree with you.
Oh.
I think I will agree with you.
I think it's better than an 8. Not as good as a 9.
Yeah.
But definitely, like, it's a solid movie. This is also episode 8, by the way, not 7.
Oh.
Shang-Chi was episode 7. But this was episode 8. But this movie is definitely, it's solid. And definitely, like, it's a must-watch. And this is interesting because we also gave Highwaymen an 8.5. So we're sort of saying that these two are on par with each other.
Which is, you know, honestly, if we like when we get to the end of 2021 and we do our year award show, because I think that's what's going to happen. You know, we make the chart on that little empty space right there, everybody, and we fill the chart throughout each year. We fill it with everything we watched that year, and then at the end of the year we do an award show, and then we start with a clean slate on the chart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when we get to that point, it's the end of 2021. We want to do the Into the Movieverse award show. What did you say it was?
I said ITM. It's just their abbreviation.
Okay. ITM? Oh,
Yeah.
like award show or something. I thought you were going to add something onto it. But I see what you're doing.
ITM awards show.
Okay. Well, when we do that, we should definitely at the beginning discuss, like, you know what we should do? We can say, like, we both get a vote, and we can decide, or we can just decide if there's maybe a few movies that we want to change our previous scores on after some time has set in.
Yeah.
Because honestly, after seeing this and saying this is an 8.5, and now that I know your rating system and my rating system has changed, we've reviewed movies now, I think Highwaymen might have to step down a little bit.
Oh, okay.
No,
Interesting.
I love that movie to death, but it is not this. You know, there's. I think Highwaymen. We should probably bring it down just the slightest bit to just knock it down a peg.
All right, we'll discuss
Yeah.
that later. So is this movie a favorite?
Yes, I'd watch that again. I mean, well, we defined a favorite as something you'd watch, right? Again, like multiple times. Is this
yeah.
Well, are you voting this as a favorite?
I watched it again, didn't I?
Mind blown. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I definitely, if someone was like, I haven't seen The Revenant, I'd be like, dude, you have to see it. I'll watch it with you. Or if someone was like, I need a good movie, I'd be like, The Revenant. So yeah, let's call this a favorite. Put a gold star behind its name on the chart. So, for sure.
Our favorites list is small. I think we would have to.
What else is on it right now?
We only have Tenet, The Revenant, and The Highwayman. But I think once we get more into like some of the older movies that we like really enjoy watching or we feel strongly about, that list will grow. But we actually haven't done a lot of like the mainstream stuff yet. We haven't done John Wick. We haven't done any Star Wars or Iron Man or anything like that. I mean, who knows if we will? There's so much stuff on Star Wars that like, maybe we stay away from Star Wars, but even though I love it so much. But, the older, those older movies and, the new trilogy and whatever. But I definitely would like to talk about like Mandalorian and some of the new upcoming stuff that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have been working on. Because I think that's definitely worth talking about.
It's interesting we have this favorites list because when you think about it, it's not like we got to remind people, just because a movie is not on the favorites list doesn't mean it's not a movie worth watching. But then again, should we have the favorites list, maybe we rename it, rebrand it, and we consider it movies we think you should all watch again. Or movies worth more than one watch.
Okay.
Because I think that's better just so we can get more, we can make, once we get, because I think we're going to have our own website soon, we can get a page that's all of the movies. We come up with a category name for it and just, it's all the movies we think are amazing and you think you should, regardless of its score, worth watching a second time or more.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. We'll do that. All right,
we don't have to be generous with it.
Can you pull up the Boba Fett trailer, please?
Sure. Let's get that going.
Get that going here.
Let's get Disney with their little towel, Okay. No, Xbox, no, please.
You play Xbox?
What? No. No, I swear I don't.
I play Xbox. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, yeah. Just play on your computer.
My computer is not good enough.
Ha! Okay, it's playing.
I've heard otherwise.
Yeah, it is. Here, let me turn my sound on so I can listen.
You've seen it though, right?
Nope.
Oh, because I, probably talk over a little bit for copyright
I know
purposes.
that you sit on the throne of your former employer.
Jabba ruled with fear.
This is gonna be so good, dude.
You were all once captains under Jabba the Hutt.
I'm here to make a proposal that's mutually beneficial. Why speak of conflict when cooperation can make us all rich?
What prevents us all from killing you and taking what we want?
It's gonna build like a whole empire now.
If you had spoken such insolence to Jabba, he'd have fed you to his menagerie.
Please. Speak freely.
I'm hyped for this.
Really?
I'm hyped for this.
Alright.
What do you mean, really?
Alright.
Oh, what do you mean, really?
Let me get this. I'll just say it all at once and get it out of the way, okay? In my humble opinion, I love Star Wars. My favorite video game I ever played growing up was Star Wars The Old Republic. Alright? I love all the Star Wars lore about the older stuff, you know, the times before when there were thousands of Jedi or hundreds of thousands and all that. Star Wars is really good. What I don't like is Disney finding out people like The Mandalorian and just wringing out that towel of cash. And, alright, to be honest, the actor who plays Boba Fett, you know, you'd think he would have gotten into shape for the role, like the majority of Marvel or Disney actors have to. There wasn't any crazy action, and I know there doesn't have to be, but like, there was no like, oh my god, I have to see this. You know what I mean? It just looks like another Disney Star Wars project, and it's like.
Well, did you watch The Mandalorian?
I had seen a few episodes, and
You've seen a few episodes.
Listen, I'll give you credit where credit's due. The Mandalorian is really, really good. But that doesn't mean I want Disney to be like, they liked it! Deploy more!
No, this is different, though.
I know.
This is a Mandalorian, you know, this is bringing back Boba Fett, a character that...
beloved actor, too.
Like, if you're not... Well, if you just strictly watch, you know, the Star Wars movies that have come out in order, Boba Fett's kind of just that guy. He's just a bounty hunter.
Well,
so now you kind of learn a little bit more.
Django, I know, but...
You know, you learn a little bit more about Boba and whatever than you have in the past, unless you've read comic books or whatever the hell type of books are out there for this. I'm not that into Star Wars, or I'm going to start reading the novels, whatever.
That's the thing about Star Wars, Star Trek, any favorite like series is that there's, just like Marvel and DC, there are hundreds of thousands of comics, thousands and thousands of novels made by so many different people, you know?
Yeah. I'm hyped for this. I don't know. It's not just Disney doing it, and I think you have the wrong idea about it.
Hey,
yes,
it's
like
my
Disney,
idea!
Disney is putting it on their platform, but it's Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. They're at the head of
Okay,
this.
if it's John, I didn't know it was Favreau.
It's gonna be accurate to, you know, the books or whatever. It's gonna be accurate to the lore. Dave Filoni is basically head of Lucasfilm at this point, and that John did, he did Mandalorian. That's his thing.
I know.
Which is why it's so good.
I just personally would rather see Old Republic stuff, you know, from a couple, like from 100 years.
That's gonna be coming out, I think. I think they're doing something. It's in the pipeline.
I think here's the thing: I feel the same way about Marvel and all their TV shows. It's not that they're bad; they're probably amazing. They're probably great. I'm not denying.
Yeah, you
that,
gotta watch them. You gotta watch them.
There it is. That's the thing. There's too many. They're just throwing them out every other week. We get a new show, and it's like I don't want to keep up anymore. You know, like it's like you give me a movie every year or two. That's cool. I can keep up. I can get excited. But like when I finish your Star Wars show, and there's another one coming out, I'm like, ah.
Well, I mean, if you watch The Mandalorian, it like went at the beginning and then followed along with each episode coming out. The time between the last episode of Mandalorian to this, there's been a couple months. It's not like they're releasing stuff back to back to back. You could definitely watch it like that if you wanted to, but like I haven't had any Mandalorian, anything Star Wars related in a TV show form in months since the last one.
I'm waiting for like a Jedi or a Sith based show about characters we don't know yet. I just want new characters, you know, not like
you know.
I can understand, like, you know, people are tired of
Well,
Skywalker.
it's more like because we talk about how expansive the Star Wars universe is because it has like an undescribable amount of comics and books. Yet we keep coming back to the same 5 characters that were in the blockbusters. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know about the new Star Wars movies, like the new trilogy was like, yikes.
The only good character out of that was Kylo
Yeah,
Ren.
for
That
sure.
was the only...
No doubt. So I think that trilogy got me really skeptical about the rest of the stuff they do.
But that movie, the guys that are involved with the TV shows are not involved with the movies.
Yeah, I know Jon Favreau's an
That's the
amazing
thing.
director. He did
Like you need to go
Iron
back
Man.
and you just need to watch Mandalorian all the way through and just absorb it.
I just don't have.
That's what you have to do.
Just don't have an interest.
You
Like,
the interest is you just have to do it.
Like that's the thing is like usually there's a show I see. Okay, like I like NCIS. I like I like a mystery. I know there's mystery in Star Wars, but like I don't know. It's been so oversaturated right now that it's just like I'm not like
You just give it a chance.
I did.
Give
I
it a
watched like
chance.
4. I watched like 5 or 6 episodes.
In order, like
Yeah,
episodes
yeah,
in order.
yeah.
That's like basically the first season.
Oh well.
I think there's like 8 episodes in the first season or something.
It was like no, it was really good. I liked how
I think if you knew what went into the TV show, it's movie production quality.
Oh no, I've seen behind the scenes. It's insane. I'm not doubting
You're
that.
crazy. You just gotta watch it, man.
Well, that okay.
gotta watch it.
My whole point is I'm not doubting that it's good. I'm not doubting that it's insanely high quality. But you can't tell me that you don't go to work every day and everyone has a different show that they're saying you gotta watch it. It's the newest thing. Everyone's talking about it, and there's just so much stuff.
I watch TV shows more often than I watch movies, to be honest. I mean, obviously, I watch a lot of movies in my spare time.
Yeah.
Like, recently, I just watched Guns Akimbo because I was bored, and I was like, let me just throw a movie on. So I watched Guns Akimbo. My rating of it, probably like a 5.2. It wasn't that great of a movie. It was average. It fulfilled the need to watch a movie. A lot of killing in it, and a lot of blood. So I mean, if you're into that kind of stuff, watch Guns Akimbo. And Daniel Radcliffe is the main character in that. But I mean, like some of these TV shows, they're really stepping their game up. You just gotta appreciate it for what it is. They're doing a lot of work on the TV show side.
I don't doubt that.
I think it's a good move. I think it's a good move, to be honest. I think making a TV show and tying it into where the movies have left off or filling the gaps in for the movies is a good idea, because then you can take your movie and progress it in a different way than you would if you're making 3 movies and each of them cost like $5 million to make, whereas you can make a TV show with movie-like quality and make more episodes and progress the story quicker than you could in 2 hours.
No, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah.
Imagine if, well, this probably isn't a good example, but imagine if Infinity War and Endgame weren't 2 movies, but they were like a TV series. Like they could have gone more in depth.
No, because like
I think
that movie.
I think those. This is why it was a bad example, because those 2 movies are fine as they are.
Yeah.
Like they executed those things perfectly, but I don't know.
I know what you mean.
I think I don't know. I'm hyped for this. I've been waiting for this.
The only point my only point in all of this was just like at the current moment, I'm a little oversaturated on Star Wars, and I'm taking a break because there's just been a lot, and that's it. Because those 3 movies were disappointing. Mandalorian was pretty good, but I watched Mandalorian. It was really good.
You can't say Mandalorian was pretty good. You gotta watch the full thing. Just trust me.
I didn't go back after 6 episodes because I had no itch. I had no interest to be like, oh, I need to see the next one. It was like it was good. It was good, but like I'm not dying to see it.
Have to see. You didn't see the return of Luke.
I watched it on YouTube. I've seen a lot of clips.
Oh, you gotta actually be there. You gotta like watch it.
You gotta
see it
be
happen.
there and experience. Yeah. You
I
know,
don't know. Maybe I'm just obsessed with the Mandalorian.
a lot of
just my
people
thing.
are. Baby Yoda has changed the world.
No, I mean it's not like Grogu. I'm not like obsessed with Grogu or anything. There was a lot of hype. You know, they're bringing Ahsoka, and then they're bringing Luke back. And
Yeah,
the Darksaber.
that's
There's a lot of stuff in there that
that's
I
the thing.
think
They Disney is General Palpatine, and then they see what you're nostalgic about, and they go power.
General Palpatine. Disney is General Palpatine.
I said Palpatine.
Did you? We gotta
I
listen to the VOD.
I swear. Did I say General?
I think you said General.
Oh. Well, I didn't.
I'm playing it back right
I didn't
now.
mean to, but so my whole point was that Disney's Palpatine, and they're like, they find what you're nostalgic about, and they're just like, let's roll.
He said General Palpatine.
I did it. I didn't realize that. Yeah, so
Palpatine.
yeah, that's another thing is like maybe I'm just a little negative about Disney in the sense of like, even though I love what they've done, their schemes won't get me.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up. I know you got a guest on his way, so we'll discuss off the podcast what movie we'll do next.
Yeah, maybe actually with Boba Fett we can finally do like
Well,
a watch
there's
party.
Dune. There's
Yeah,
Dune.
yeah, Dune.
You know that one we definitely need to watch before it gets taken off the streaming services.
Okay.
All
So yeah, let's just I guess we'll just slate Dune as the next one.
right.
So I'm excited
On
for
the
that.
podcast. But all right. No, I said we'll talk about it off the podcast.
Yeah.
We're just like, we'll just talk about it right now.
No, I was just letting everybody know what we're doing next.
All right, we'll do Dune next.
Yeah.
It only makes sense.
I
We
agree.
can watch it before it goes away.
Cool.
All right, 'twas fun.
Yes, it was. Thank you everybody for watching. Hope you guys
We'll catch you
enjoyed.
guys.
The Revenant, 8.5 out of 10. It is a favorite on our list. We're going to do a little tweak into the favorites list, and we're going to make a chart. And I guess we also spoiled or previewed the fact that at the end of the year, we'll do like an overall award show.
That's all right.
Yeah, no, so good to know. So thank you everybody for listening or watching, and we will see you all in the next episode of Into the Movieverse.
Adios.